Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This time around, it is a compilation of games featuring LiquidMaNa from Nation Wars. In the top right side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is Mana, hailing from Team Liquid and the nation of Poland. And in the bottom left side of the map, his opponent is the blue Zerg player Stefano from France and Team Meltdown. Alright, so he starts off. It does not start easy. Does not start easy for LiquidMaNa in this compilation. He goes up against Stefano, one of the more feared Zerg players in the international foreign community. We will see how each player does here. Have fun, just like the old times. Stefano says nostalgia. That's right, man. That is absolutely correct. These players have been around for many years now. Mana especially around since the early days of Wings of Liberty. Stefano as well, dating back a long time. Going pool first here after getting his expansion attempt blocked off by Mana's probe. Again, Protoss players just do this. Just mess with the heads of Zerg. It's a good thing to do. And Stefano going to establish his base over here at this third base location to the right as soon as he can. Or rather, you know what? Mana stopped blocking this one off. And, ooh, Stefano does get the natural down eventually. So he does go pool first and then into natural. No sign of an extractor yet. There we go. Extractor now coming in. And Mana didn't really cost him anything. Cost him the scouting of a single probe. He's going one Rax expand. His Rax is up at the front of his natural base to help wall things off. It is a big area to wall here on Overgrowth, but Mana is experienced enough to figure out exactly how to do that. Cyber Core coming up next of all, a single assimilator. Second assimilator now. There it is. There it is. Mana, that build is just, it's safe. It is safe against Zerg. Automatically harvesting gas. Not automatically. That was a choice Stefano had to make, but he is getting gas from that extractor, and he's going to start speed as soon as he possibly can. About halfway complete on his expansion. He is sending Overlords up to scout. Has no idea what Mana is doing right now, but feels confident enough that he can handle it. Actually, the question is, can he handle whatever Mana has coming in here? So this is the compilation. You know how these how long these games are gonna be. Some of them could be 20 minutes long. Some of them could just be 2 minutes long. It's just, they're just gonna pop up whenever they pop up, and you'll have a good idea of how Mana performed in Nation Wars after we're all done today. So that's how this is going to work out. Adept is on its way out while being warped in, then on its way out to try to harass the Zerg army. Is he making any lings? Is Stefano. He has two Zerglings who are heading up to the front here, trying to check to see if there's a quick third nexus. Oh no, just getting around the Adept that was coming in, or coming out the front door so they can sneak in the front door. Now they're getting that scout off. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Seeing the Twilight Council opening. Adept and Mothership Core should be enough to deal with these lings. There's really nowhere they can go to survive and get out of this base alive. Definitely not here. One more shot, and there it is. Lings are dead, but they scouted everything that Mana had going. Robotics facility being tapped down right at the front from Mana. Not worried about that one being scouted. I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world to see by anything that comes up to his front door. So let's see what the plans are there. Stefano getting speed. It is about 60% complete there. Drone count 28 to 29. Third base just about to pop for Stefano at the same time. All right, Mana. It's going to be an interesting choice here. Basically, the robotics facility and the Twilight Council tell me we're going to see. There it is. There's the Dark Shrine. Okay, so Archon drops. Archon drop action here. He's chrono boosting his Twilight Council, which I don't think he meant to do. I don't think he needs any of these things based on what he's going for here. It's going to be DTs, going to be Warp Prism. There we go, moving it over onto the Nexus. Maybe he was trying to fool the Overlord into thinking that indeed Mana was chrono boosting the Twilight Council. They're going for Stalkers, Adepts, or Zealots. But no, I don't think that's what this is at all. Not at all. Lings coming up at the front here. They're thinking about being annoying, but then they decide to head all the way back home. I mean, that's a full wall. That's Photon Overcharge available with that Mothership Core. There's no way Lings are getting through that. Not that number anyway. Definitely not even close to that number. More gateways coming in from Mana. That Dark Shrine is right at his front door, but not scouted by the Overlords. They have the main base covered. They've got the natural base mostly covered. Sees the Warp Prison moving out, though. Does Stefano. So he should have a general idea of what's coming up. Whether it's Adepts, whether it's Archons, he does not know. Because, again, he doesn't know about that Dark Shrine. He probably assumes that it is Adepts, but I'm not sure that the response from Zerg is going to be significantly different either way. Just depending on those two units. All right, come on. Can you see the Dark Shrine? Overlords are just kind of getting... There it is! Okay. The Dark Shrine visible by both Overlords at about the same time. The right one might have seen it here. So he does know exactly what is coming. There's the Warpin of Dark Templar They're sneaking right inside the main base. There is, in fact, a Spore Caller coming up, but it is not done yet. Going after it. Spore Caller done in 2 swipes from these 4 DTs. Has to abandon his main base entirely. Does Stefano, recognizing, oh, snap, that's a bad thing. Making some roaches, making more Spore Crawlers, getting the creep spread up as well. He hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped doing everything, but he just lost his main. He's going to lose. Whew, he's going to lose his spawning pool here as well. Come on, Stefano. Nope, toast. Absolutely toast. Where's his Roach Warren? His Roach Warren's in the natural, so he's not going to lose that, at least not immediately. Here we go. Roaches versus DTs. DTs trying to take down this Roach Warren. Is there enough DPS? The detection's not there. They found the window. The Roach Warren is gone, and the Warp Prism picks up the DTs and retreats with them. Stefano can make no attacking units right now, except for Queens. He could finish the Roaches that he's making right now, but that is about it. LiquidMaNa, can he continue to press his advantage? Roaches and Ravagers did show up here at the third base that Mana has going here, but nothing can shoot up. Mothership Core should be able to get some nice DPS done. Photon Overcharge is baited as well. Enough? No, not enough Corrosive Bile to take down that pylon. One of the pylons here at the third. Unfortunately not. So, trying to replace his spawning pool. Trying to replace, I mean, Stefano is in a lot of trouble right now. Lost his main entirely at this moment. DTs. Oh, the Warp Prism micro to get rid of these Roaches. They're not faster than the Roaches, but the Warp Prism can pick them up and drop them in the locations where they can get shots off, and all the Roaches are completely dead. Archon's now morphing in full view of this Sloverlord. Adepts coming in here as well for Mana. What? There are 6 Roaches on the ground and 2 Lings for Stefano. It is not looking good. Stefano says, how did I miss that? How did I miss that? Because the placement of the Dark Shrine getting old, says Stefano. Exactly. Or says Mana. Exactly, says Stefano. Exactly, and that's it. Oh, Stefano taps out. Mana gets him with a sneaky, sneaky Dark Shrine hidden in full plain sight in his natural base. Again, it was almost luck. The placement of that Dark Shrine. Overlords did not see it until it was just too late. Just too late. Stefano took so much damage in that game. Look at this. Resources lost 250 period for Mana, and like 2,400 for the Zerg player Stefano. All right, so that's game 1 of our LiquidMaNa compilation. We'll be back in just a second with game number 2. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to the LiquidMaNa compilation 2017, brought to you by Falcon Paladin. In the top left side of Echo, the latter edition, we have the red Protoss player. It is Mana. And in the bottom right side of the map, the blue Terran player. It is MarineLoRd, hailing from France. It is another Frenchie that our Polish Mana must deal with today. Will it never end? Will it never end the stream of French players? The answer is yes. Yes, it will. Absolutely. So a TDP to follow up the PBZ. Mana feeling pretty good after winning game number 1 of this compilation. Okay, to be honest, these were not played in the order in which I am casting them. I just grabbed a bunch from the Nation Wars, and I'm kind of casting them almost at random. There is some method to my madness. For the most part, I'm just grabbing them out of that folder and throwing them up. So no, Mana did not immediately play Stefano before this game, but still, for you Mana fans, you have to feel pretty confident about seeing Mana beat Stefano like that pretty handily in game number 1. Game 2, again, stiffer competition. MarineLoRd, a very, very strong Terran player. And considering the state of Protoss fans' enthusiasm for the game right now, it's a really tough matchup for sure. So we'll see if Mana can make this thing work. Gotta kill some SCVs. Gotta force MarineLoRd to cancel some bases, get some damage done early. We'll see if Mana rather is up to the task here. MarineLoRd, on the other hand, is going to use, I'm going to say, Marines, Marauders, and Medivacs, and other such units. Probably not going to go mech. Probably not going mech in Nation Wars, especially not somebody as with the name of MarineLoRd. Although we do have games where MarineLoRd has gone mech on my channel. We have seen those before. Probe Scout, just trying to see what is up, and it is a Reaper. Ah! I almost kind of assumed it wasn't a Reaper just because against Protoss it's kind of a waste of time. But alright, here it is. This is Wade W. Wilson, aka Deadpool. Having been discovered by the Dominion to be immortal, the Dominion decided to use his healing factor and create a serum to heal injured men. This serum became known as combat drugs and was extremely lucrative, but none of the profits were shared with Wade. That's going to piss Deadpool off. That's going to make him really mad. After he found this out, he went on a killing spree and nearly wiped out an entire research facility with nothing but a fork and some Dominion weapons the guards had. After several months in solitary and several more killing sprees later, an agreement was struck. The Dominion would share a portion of the profits and let Wade out as a Reaper for some fun if he agreed not to kill anyone again. He agreed after beating up one more guard and then returned to his cell, waiting for this day to arrive. Alright, Deadpool. Put you in a Reaper suit, man. You promised not to kill anyone. That might not be a hard promise to keep, because again, Photon Overcharge and Stalkers and Adepts are all very good. They're very good spells and things, the counters to early Reapers, which explains why this Reaper is not even moving out. Not even moving out. It is here to make sure that probes don't set up, I guess, pylons or cannons down here. I don't see what other use there is for sitting at this point. Adepts come down, can't stop it from happening. Zealots come down, can't stop that from happening. Mothership Core comes down, can't stop that from happening. Again, Reaper is just... this is basically Deadpool getting some fresh air, is what it is. I don't know. Anyway, Deadpool was definitely one of my favorite movies of 2016. Wonderful, wonderful. Came out about a year ago, didn't it? It came out in February, and it was kind of marketed as like a romantic comedy. A little bit, which is just genius. I mean, the marketing folks for that Deadpool movie really knew what they were doing. Very impressed by that. All right, Reaper, are you bringing brave Deadpool? Wade Wilson moving out. Trying to see what he can do. There's a Warp Prism on the way for mana and some Adept. So likely some Adept Warp Prism Harass coming up soon. Got a Liberator from MarineLoRd as well. Checking for a third base is Deadpool. Does not see one yet. Mana is not that greedy. At least not in this game. At least not against an opponent as strong as MarineLoRd. But here comes an Adept. Get some shots off on that Adept. No, no, no. Run. Run. Oh, it's too late. No. Oh, Wade Wilson. Deadpool. Deadpool, no, why? A little bit. I think MarineLoRd's attention was a little bit elsewhere there for a bit. The Adept waltzed in. Great micro from mana. Just meant that there was nowhere for Deadpool to go in that situation. So, good job. He did keep his promise of not killing anyone. That was nice of him. I'm not sure his superiors meant not to kill the Protoss and probably just intended for him not to kill other Terrans, but maybe he took that a little bit too literally, which is something Deadpool can definitely do here. All right, so moving in with the Warp Prism into the main base. Got a Liberator sneaking up this left side, probably headed for Mana's main base at the exact same time. But here we go. Widowmine firing onto the Warp Prism here inside the main base, but Adepts are unscathed here, taking down a couple Adepts, or SCVs rather. How many SCVs? Only 3. Warp Prism really had to get out of there because only has 20 hit points remaining. Liberator setting up shop, and good pull. Good pull by Mana. Does not lose any probes to that Liberator. Setting up now on the Assimilator, though, is this Liberator pilot, and does get 1 kill. The other probe went inside the Assimilator. 3 probe kills. All the probes on the gas are taken out. Stalker's trying to get rid of it. Gets a couple shots off on the escaping Liberator, but otherwise not much. So injured, but happy with her 3 kills to this point. Checks for a third. Doesn't see one yet. Good job keeping tabs on that third base location. Observer. How do they shoot that Observer? Is there a... just on the edge of a scan? Or either way, MarineLoRd knows it's there, so he's gonna shove that Observer away. There's not a missile. Oh, there is a missile turret down here. Okay, down here. Man, I always forget that visible range on these things is way further than the range they can shoot. Way further away. Warp Prism has its full shields back. It's as healthy as it's ever going to get here along the right side of the map. Is he going to sneak down to the main base again? I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that one. A Liberator checks, sees the third base is coming up. Not going to set up a Defender Mode Circle until there are some juicy probes to take on down there. Forge is getting +1 attack for mana. Twilight Council getting Resonating Glaives as well. Also getting additional gateways. Immortal production has begun for mana as well. And MarineLoRd is just going to be Marines, Marauders, tanks, it looks like, Liberators, obviously Widowmines also, since he has those out. And +1 attack coming up for his infantry in the Engineering Bay. Sentries, that's what they are. Sentries coming in here for mana, for Guardian Shield and for Force Fields, most likely. And yes, getting a Templar Archives. Okay, either for Storm or for Archons. I like the Templar Archives against Terran, especially against a Terran who's going as Marine heavy, as MarineLoRd is doing in this game. Third command center under construction for MarineLoRd. Either going to land it over here to the left or just on top of his main, to the north of his main. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what he plans on doing with that. Fourth refinery just about to complete. He really wants that gas, which means he's going pretty heavy on the tanks and the Liberators and the Widowmines. Army is here for mana, trying to defend the third base and trying to defend that natural base at the same time. He's got Archons, he's got Adepts, Sentries, Immortals, Stalkers. +1 attack is done on all of these units as they share the same upgrade paths. Observer scouting this out, sees the army coming in. Oh, good scout there by Mana. Can he hold this is going to be the question. Tanks are going to be a big deal against these Stalkers, especially. Tanks coming out, going into siege mode on the ramp. Guardian Shield is up, and once the tanks are out, yeah, back out. Mana back out. Don't take shots from those tanks. Missile turret coming up at the front. Wow, MarineLoRd plans to stick here for a while. Is the idea. Picking off those sentries. Straight up battle. Archon on the right side, trying to get damage done on those Archons. No, push back all the way back into his natural. The Archon gets killed. MarineLoRd doing a great job winning that battle very handily. These Marines just scary in every possible way, killing a bunch of probes here at the natural base. We've got Liberator sneaking up there to the main while the third base explodes for Mana. Liberator sets up. I don't think Mana's paying attention to this one, and whoa, Photon Overcharge does come up, but Liberator has 11 kills before she gets blown out of the sky by that Photon Overcharge. MarineLoRd still setting up here. The Observer does get scanned and taken down. It was scouting this front pretty well for Mana, but now he's blind. He has a replacement Archon. He's got replacement Immortal. A lot of Adepts here too with the Resonating Glaives and +1 armor. That's going to be useful in this upcoming battle. Bunker up for MarineLoRd. Adepts transferring on down into positions where they want to do this thing. The bunker is full of Marines. The bunker falls immediately though, but the Adepts are absorbing a lot of damage, taking down this Marine count. Tank 1, Tank 2 down. Missile turret down as well. Medevac's forced to retreat for their lives. Mana did manage to break it, but there is a drop here. Drop here at the main base. Mothership core does end up getting killed. Adepts trying to take down these units, but no, the robotics facility is exploded there. MarineLoRd considers that to be a job well done. Picks up and boosts out Mana, continuing to push down this front. He could probably shut down that third if he wanted to, but he wants to go up this natural base. Woo! Waltzing right on up there with the Adepts. But Liberator mode makes the rest of the army unwilling to come on in there. Oh no, the Adepts are gone. Widowmine's assisting that with that immensely. Mana decides perhaps this was not such a great idea. They're returning units from Mana, or from MarineLoRd rather, kind of make a bit of a Protoss sandwich here with Terran on the left and on the right side. There was an attempt of Adept Harass at the third, shut down by Marines and Marauders though, and Mana forced to pick up and retreat back, pull back to a safer location near his third base, which he is in fact replanting. He is making another Mothership core, or did he cancel that? No, he is making another Mothership core. And he does have a couple Templar that I think he just made into an Archon. There they are. Yes, made into an Archon there. All right, so MarineLoRd going to sneak up along this left side. Going to see what he can see. I don't know what Mana knows this is coming here. He checked to see. Mana checked his bottom left corner to see if there was any Terran presence. There was, but unfortunately it was in Medevacs in the high ground and the dead airspace back here. So is he ready for this is the question of the day. Big push up the middle. Whoa, MarineLoRd. Suddenly it's 148 to 111 total supply. Mana might have probed up a little bit too hard there. I don't know. So the drop in the main base while the attack up the front door. MarineLoRd double pronging it right about now. And the Adepts actually blocked off by their own buildings, trying to sneak around the long way to try to defend against that. But a big old attack out the front. Archon's dying. Immortal's dying as well. Liberator one taken out, but there are still two forced to pull back from those Archon, getting shots off and then dying at the same time. And that's the good game. Good game out of Mana. Mana is defeated and MarineLoRd is victorious there in game number 2. Strong play from MarineLoRd, keeping up the harassment. Mana did it as well, tried to do what he could, but I think that counterattack failing was kind of the nail in the coffin for Mana. Losing that third, a big stinking deal. Losing all those Adepts. I think it might have been a little bit safer to go after the third base and possibly lock that one down if at all possible, and then expand behind it and continue this game. But Mana went for the natural, didn't quite work out for him, and then lost the battle. That MarineLoRd is able to push up his front, and that was it. So that's game 2. We'll be back with game number 3 in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to game 3 of our LiquidMaNa compilation, this time against Ptitdrogo on Newkirk Precinct. In the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Protoss player, our hero, LiquidMaNa. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Ptitdrogo from My Insanity. So Team Liquid versus My Insanity here for you today. Should be a very hard-fought game. Man, Ptitdrogo has some very scary casts on my channel recently. He's been doing super well over the last few weeks. Mana might be running into a buzzsaw here, but this is Nation Wars. This is pride. This is pride for your country. Wait a second, is this another Frenchman? Holy smokes, it is. Mana played a lot of France, which makes sense. I think they matched up country against country. So apparently Poland played against France quite a bit, because this is the third straight Frenchman we've seen from Mana, and never the same guy twice, which is actually kind of hilarious. All right, so this is the mirror of all mirror matchups. You'll notice this looking the same. 2 assimilators, gateway, probe, right? One assimilator. Still moderately the same here. But everybody opens up double gas. Everybody goes for a gateway. No one goes Nexus first in this matchup. That's suicide. That is just suicide. You just can't do it. And then the decision making comes when you decide to make either 2 adepts or 2 stalkers with your 2 gateways. And there are, again, different reasons why you should do both. We'll see what these players decide to do with them in this little PvP matchup that is part of the LiquidMaNa compilation. Heading out is a scouting probe for Mana, or for Ptitdrogo rather. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a scouter. That's heading out to see what's going on. Mana's doing the exact same thing. And I don't know. I guess it's helpful to see what comes out of these gateways as soon as they're ready to go. Cybercore on the way again from both of these players at the exact same time. I want somebody to shake up this meta. I want somebody to come into PvP and do something completely different and just wreck this opening, because it seems like it's strong enough and safe enough that there's no reason not to do it. And it just makes me sad. Makes me a little bit sad in this mirror matchup. It's going to be double stalker out of Ptitdrogo. There they are. Chrono boosting out Warp Gate and double stalker for Mana as well. Probe comes in for Ptitdrogo, sees exactly what's up. Recognizes, alright, got 2 gateways. It's going to be stalkers or it's going to be adepts. Probe for Mana does the exact same thing. No reason to stick around. Might as well head home. We're just going to die to either the stalkers or the adepts as they come out of these gateways. We do have a mothership core for Mana moving across the map, which we don't see a lot of. Gonna do some harassment here. Possibly gonna try to get some damage done while the stalkers for Ptitdrogo are out and away. The stalkers are chasing down this probe. Maybe the probe is bait. Perhaps the probe is bait. But the mothership core for Ptitdrogo is also defending here as well. So I'm not sure Mana can get a whole lot of work done. Are the stalkers going to come back? No, they're just kind of hanging. Now they're coming back. Now they're coming back. They see the mothership core is here. Mothership core can't defend against this. Ptitdrogos can't do anything except for photon overcharge. Trying to find an area. Oh, but the triple pylon coverage by Ptitdrogo is beautiful. There's nowhere to go. Stalkers are here as well. Mothership core not moving in. Not moving in, but guess what's moving in? Stalkers. Stalkers for Mana. Getting a free probe kill. Here we go. The one that just threw down the natural base for Ptitdrogo. That's a pretty good early win. However, 4 stalkers for Ptitdrogo respond. Photon overcharge. Trying to get the mothership core of Mana, but he recalled right on home. Recalled right on home with it. Robotics facility on. There we go. Both players. Robotics facility expanding. Sentries. Warp gate. PvP, you're just silly. You're just silly is what you are. Both players are getting their nexuses up at approximately the exact same time. Robotics facilities should finish as well about the same time there, as the same concepts are going through each player's heads. Twilight Council, a different choice for Mana. Come on, don't do it, Ptitdrogo. Don't you do it. Don't do it. Don't copy what your opponents... Yes, excellent. All right, so we do have a difference. Twilight Council on the way from Mana. Whether for Archons or for Storm, I don't know. But again, both pretty good. Pretty good against Protoss. Archons just don't take extra damage from anything that Protoss have. So they can take fairly well. Plus that splash damage is handy in straight up combat. All right, it is 29 to 29 Harvesters, 45 to 48 total supply. Ptitdrogo has a bit of a lead. He has some additional Stalkers up on his opponent. 1 additional Stalker up on his opponent. Okay, now it's 47 to 49. Mana catching up. Mana is definitely catching up. Has sentries in his main mineral line, just defending against whatever's coming there. It's going to be Blink out of the Twilight Council. And did he just... Ptitdrogo, did you just throw down a Twilight Council too? Is that what you just did? Yes, you did. And you're getting Blink. Ah! Immortals coming up. So I don't know. I mean, at this point, it just comes down to micro and control. It's not really decision-making, right? Both players macroing the same. Both players teching up the exact same. It's going to come down to who can attack when the other player's not ready for it, right? Who can maybe kill a base or two. And who's going to win these battles pretty much just through what you're going to focus down, positioning of your Stalkers versus your Archons. Hallucinated Phoenix for Ptitdrogo comes out and does manage to scan Mana's base. Same thing for Mana. Mana has a Hallucinated Phoenix inside Ptitdrogo's base before it evaporates into nothingness, which sometimes does happen. All right. Robotics Bay on the way for Mana. Ptitdrogo, I'm warning you. If you throw down a Robotics Bay here, we're going to have words. We're going to have words. He's getting additional gateways, which is different from his opponent. I don't see any sign of a Robotics Bay yet. All right. Perhaps Mana has something that is truly his own in this mirror matchup. Another Hallucinated Phoenix moving out. Both players going Sentry, Stalker, Immortal at this stage of the game. I just don't see any reason why you'd move out at this point. Both players are just defending like crazy. Maybe they're worried about oracles, and it seems to be that possibly what it is. Worried about oracle drops, worried about adept drops. Another major difference. Ptitdrogo tossing down his third to the left of his natural base, and LiquidMaNa tossing his down to the north of his natural base. So there are differences. Huzzah and hooray! We are saved. We are saved today. Disruptor production has begun from Mana. Ptitdrogo doing this thing kind of just with Immortals and Gateway units, period. And here he comes, marching across the map from the right to the left, walking on the roads, not walking on the grass. You'll notice he wants to keep that grass fresh and clean and healthy and not trodden upon by Protoss units. Oh no, he's cutting corners. Ooh, he just barely nicked the corner of that nice lawn. And nobody else is. Okay, so that was a very nice, ecologically friendly move from Ptitdrogo. Coming up, maybe going to try to harass that third base. I don't know. Warping in additional sentries to this army and additional stalkers. Oh, out of position. Mana's stalkers, though. Run! Get out of there. Blinking forward is Ptitdrogo. Purification Nova sent on down, and it's going to detonate. Oh, big time hit! What a massive hit from that Nova, killing several sentries, but Ptitdrogo still has enough to severely threaten this third base. Can Mana save it? Force fields kind of trapping units a little bit. Another Nova catching yet another Stalker. More force fields coming up. I'm not sure whose are whose at this point. Purification Nova's available. That cooldown is so long, I just don't know. Immortal's doing a great job for Ptitdrogo, dealing damage and absorbing damage. Warp Prism gets taken down. Every one of the Stalkers for Ptitdrogo is murdered except for a total of 2. Observer gets killed at the same time. What an amazing hold there by Mana, winning that super duper handily. It's 92 to 70 total supply. Mana now going for that counter attack. He's got his Stalkers. He's got his Disruptor. Disruptor count is at 4. That's a lot of splash damage, you guys. That is a lot of splash damage that Ptitdrogo is going to have to defend against, basically with Stalkers here. I don't think he can do this with just Stalkers, but we're going to try it anyway. I suppose Immortals, 2 Immortals for Mana, and yeah, Ptitdrogo just running at this point. He can't stand in. He can't stand and deal with this thing. Purification Nova gets to try to sneak on in here and going to catch those Stalkers again, at least force them away. Catching one. Third base under direct assault. Another Nova forcing a blink away from Ptitdrogo. He tries to come in and do something, but then a Nova chases him away. Probes defending at the same time. Nova catches a large group of Stalkers, but blinking forward nonetheless. 10 kills on that Disruptor. Winning the battle here is LiquidMaNa. Stalker count falling precipitously for Mana, though. He does still have 3 Disruptors and 2 Immortals. 9 kills and 3 kills on those Immortals. Reinforcing units coming across as well from the left to the right side. The third base ends up exploding. It's 51 to 43 Harvesters trying to defend totally with Stalkers. Nova catches the blinked Stalkers. Another Nova killing a Stalker before he can recall. And Ptitdrogo has to recall back to his natural base, trying to defend what he has, but he's stuck on 2 versus 3 that Mana is on, and he is down 10 plus 2 workers right now. Not good in a mirror match, especially. Mana pushing hard right now, going after these pylons. Photon overcharge, not an option. Nova wants to kill these probes, might as well. Pretty good split, catching only 2 of them, but still another Nova getting these 2 Stalkers. Ptitdrogo is down huge in worker count right now. There are DTs for Ptitdrogo running around, trying to cause a little bit more havoc here, but I just don't know that it's going to be enough for him. I guess that's where his attention was. He's going to lose the natural base. It's 112 to 42 total supply. 17, 18 probes have been killed. Ptitdrogo losing his income so badly right now. DT gone, and that's it. Ptitdrogo throws out the lucky you good game. Lucky you good game leaves the game, and Mana gets the win against his 3rd Frenchman of the day. Wow. That was an impressive display out of Mana. I think Ptitdrogo needed to go for something higher tech, something splash damagey before he did. I mean, DTs would have been good. He just waited too long, I think. They did some good damage. They killed 9 probes there in the end, but he just needed something good for the battles, needed Disruptors, needed Storm, needed Archons, needed something to assist there, something to absorb, but didn't have it, and Mana pulled it out. So that's it for game number 3. Let's move into game number 4 coming up in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to game 4 of our LiquidMaNa compilation here on Echo, the Ladder Edition. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is our hero. It is Mana. And in the top left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player hailing from Canada this time. About time we switched it up. It is Scarlett. All right, so Scarlett versus Mana here. Another Zerg, but no more Frenchmen for Mana to fight against. Must go to North America for this one and fight against a Canadian in the form of the red Zerg player of Scarlett. All right, so should be a good one here on Echo, the latter edition. Very, very interested to see how this one moves out. Just again, because ZVP is my favorite matchup. It just is. No matter if it's short or if it's long, I am there if you have a ZVP posted. Back when Husky was posting quite a bit, if it was a ZVP, I'm pretty sure I watched every single one, and I raged. I raged back then. That Stalker Colossus build was so strong against Zerg, and then Zerg got the answer of Broodlord, Queen, Infester, and it just turned into this really long, weird stalemate for a while, and it evolved, and I was there every step of the way. Just good memories for sure. It is a extractor pool here for Scarlett. Now going for the hatch. A little bit late, kind of the same thing that Stefano did. I'm not sure that she had to, though. Stefano did because the probe was blocking this, but I think that just might have been a conscious choice by Scarlett to do that one. Expansion on the way for Mana after the gateway. Cybernetics core, the next thing, and then taking a second assimilator. Going to be the one after that. There is the Cybernetics core and second assimilator coming up in just about 3 or 4 seconds here out of Mana. Ready, set, go. There it is. There it is. Sloverlords moving across the map for the Scarlet. Queens in production as well. Well, Queen in the way because the other hatch is not quite done yet. I played some StarCraft with some of my coworkers. We had kind of a LAN party at the office the other night, and it was fun. It was pretty fun. One of the other guys is about platinum level, probably about my level. He's a Protoss player. Another Protoss player who, probably closer to gold, if I had to say what he's at. Gold, possibly silver. Anyway, we played against some AI because he didn't want to play multiplayer against any real people or against us, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Did some, like, fun cannon rushing against the computer and some Ling harass that turned into sudden Broodlords, and it's just great. The AI is so dumb. It's so stupid. Especially the Zerg AI is just, they don't know how to macro properly. They don't know how to make units when there's an attack coming. It's just apparently the hardest thing to mimic for Blizzard programmers is the Zerg playstyle with computers. It is going to be a Stargate opening here out of Mana, so I think I have an Oracle name. Pretty sure I've got one of those sitting here in my Oracle name list. Where is my Oracle name list? There it is. There it is. Yeah, alright, it's going to be interesting if that's what it is. In fact, third hatch on the way from the Scarlet. No 2 base attacks today out of the Zerg probe, scouting that information very, very quickly. And an evolution chamber on the way from Scarlet as well. That tells me probably Drop Lord action. You need that evolution chamber for Drop Lords. Also, she is getting +1 melee attack. So, I don't know. That's not all it's for is Drop Lords. I just have a feeling that might be what we're seeing, as there are some Lings heading across the map. They're not getting through this front door, right? There's no way that's happening. So, ostensibly, checking the third. Trying to pick off this probe. Not going to happen. Sloverlord getting shoot away by the Stalker here at the natural base as well. So, just trying to make it look like there are Lings just hanging out. Don't mind us. We're just here at the front now. Sloverlord is being scouted. Oh, Mothership Core sees him. He sees him. I don't know if he's going to go through with it at this point. Can't really blame Scarlett for not wanting to. Oracle on the way. This Oracle's name is Reaper. Yep. Reaper the Oracle. Is that confusing? Probably. Probably so. We had a Reaper named Oracle. Or we have one coming up, and now we have an Oracle named Reaper. Again, Ling's just kind of dancing around, getting shot to death by this Mothership Core, trying to kill a probe. Can they get it? They get the probe! Yay! Good job, Zerglings, getting that probe, making sure that third base does not come down. Oracle trying to sneak on in and gets one drone kill. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Trying to take down the Spore Crawler with Pulsar Beam. Not the best use of time, as it turns out. Trying to sneak on in, but there is a Queen and a Spore Crawler in the main base. It's just... it is a difficult spot. I mean, if the Zerg player gets that particular defense structure and tandem, it's just really hard to get through. And so Reaper decides to leave after getting 2 drone kills, which is not bad, but also it is not great. Nexus, third Nexus, finally up for Mana has an Adept holding it. Ling's possibly going to scout in and see what's going on. They're like, hey, what up? Yep, there's a third base. Time to run away. No reason to sacrifice our lives just for that information. Resonating Glaives on the way for Mana, an additional Oracle coming in here as well. More and more pylons in production, and creep spread continuing to push down the middle from a Scarlett. Extractor. Nope. On the way, that's the 4th extractor. Yep, getting that gas. Scarlett knows gas is really important for late game Zerg. Not so much for early game, as it turns out, but late game definitely needs it. And our first attack here for mana, 2 oracles and a whole ton of adepts. 8 adepts sneaking across the map here. Just, I mean, not really sneaking. They're just coming right up the middle. Scarlett doesn't see this because she doesn't have anything in position to deal with it, but Ling's accidentally scouting that, going onto the creep. Now Scarlett knows what's up. 12 Lings in production. +1 missile attack. Got Queens as well. Queens really want to kill those oracles if they can. Can't quite do it. Spore Crawlers need to defend. The Adepts trying to take down the Queens. Psionic transferring here inside the main base. Drones are in so much trouble. These Adepts do in fact have a resonating glaive. Drones forced to fight for their lives at the same time. Queens trying to kill. Lings trying to kill. Killing a couple of them, but a bunch more do manage to survive. 5 of them managed to survive, coming here into the 3rd base as well. This early harass is beautiful. Out of mana, taking drones down. Only a Spore Crawler here defending, and guess what? Doesn't really defend against Adepts all that well, as it turns on out. So that's 16 drones that have been killed. I think Scarlett has enough Lings to handle it at this point, especially because they have +1 attack. 2 Adepts do manage to make it on out of there. Oracles in range of these Queens do manage to survive. 6 kills on that one, 1 kill on the other one. Ling counterattack, trying to sneak on into this 3rd base. Possibly there are 3 Adepts here in position to defend. Picking off transferring probes, or I guess 1 transferring probe, not 2. Not 2, but this one's very close to death with 4 hit points to his name. 4th base done for Scarlett, expanding under all of that harassment. Again, the sign of a good Zerg player is that you can do that just to the right side of the natural. Hydralisk Den on the way, or done rather. Muscular Augments on the way for Scarlett instead. So Queens pushing across the middle. They're going off the creep. This is interesting. This is really interesting. The Queens marching across the creep here. 7 of them. They are now what? I mean, are they going to stand and fight? They want to get back to the creep, kind of. Transfuse, trying to keep them alive. Lings trying to keep them alive as well. If Mana can take down these Queens, that's a pretty big get. And they cancel the Psionic Transfer, just kind of shooing the Zerg player back onto the creep and back to a defensive position. Hydras are here. Hydra's not good against Adepts, as it turns out. Queens need to take this damage while the Hydras do the damage. Lings, nope. Psionic transferring away. Mana recognizing that was not a good setup. Queens in the front tanking with Hydras in the back, actually dealing the damage with Lings, causing problems for the AI as well. No. Nope, Mana wanted nothing to do with that particular battle. Debris under fire here as well, and gonna knock it down with a bunch of Hydralisks. 7 Hydras are here. They do have +1 missile attack and +1 ground carapace, and we've got those Banelings. All right, so this is very much a style that we have seen. Hydra, Baneling, Ling, Queen. I'd like to see some Corruptors mixed in as well, but maybe those aren't necessary in this particular matchup. These Queens really want to be part of this battle. Is there Storm available? Nope, there are Templar, but they don't have Storm. Possibly for feedback. Stasis Ward catches nearly all of the Zerglings. Banelings kind of stuck back here as well. Lings trying to get up here in the natural base, at least cause some level of harassment. Taking down a gateway did those Hydralisks, and the Zerg army pulling back. As there are Adepts at the 5th base or 4th base causing a lot of trouble. These Lings are just going to die. Run, Lings. It's a race for time. Go. Nope, they're attacking. They're attacking, and now they're running. And now they are running exactly as they should do. So 4th base is mining. It's 66 to 75. Harvester's Mana has a bit of a lead on that one. What is that? 5th and 6th extractors on the way for Scarlett. Absolutely crazy talk with that gas. 145 to 164 total supply. Mana looking good. Got Immortals. Got Archons. Got Adepts. Got any Zealots in there? Yep. Bunch of Zealots in there, actually, dealing with those Zerglings. That's what they're there for. Lurker Den morphing in for Scarlett. Baneling Speed coming in as well. And +2 Missile and +2 Ground Carapace. As well as a Spine Crawler somewhere. What's he defending with his Spine? His 3rd base. He's defending with a Spine. Or she's defending with a Spine, or rather. +2 ground weapons on the way for Mana. A little bit behind on the upgrade game, but so far hasn't really lost much to the Zerg. 10 Adepts, 3 probes, and a gateway is all at this point. 4th base trying to come up here for Mana, but nope. Ling's showing up at exactly the wrong time for LiquidMaNa. Killing doesn't even get a cancel on that thing. Scarlett feels job well done, and pulling back. Creep spread continuing to move across the map at alarming rates. For mana, I don't know about this. Storm is done for the Templar though, so that's going to help mana quite a bit. We do have a Zealot drop sneaking up this left side in a Warp Prism while most of the army comes up the right side, just in a giant ball of blue glowy death. Creep spread continuing to push down this direction as well. Will the creep tumors finish? It looks like they will. Mana doesn't want to go on to the creep is the problem. Until absolutely necessary, which is apparently right now, because here we go. Right on top of the creep killing. Creep tumors observer mixed in here as well. Scarlett has banelings morphing in. 16 banelings morphing in right now. Has a whole bunch of hydras, almost a full page of hydras there. And there's just kind of a stalemate right now, but banelings are there. Storms on top of the hydralisks. Warping in a ton of zealots here inside the main base while the attack is commencing at the fourth base. The storms are beautiful. The storms are amazing on the hydras. Banelings trying to get in here, but force field use is just gorgeous as well. So much dead stuff here inside the main base. The zealots just going to town on the drones, on the defending zerglings at the same time. Is it enough though? Hydras continuing to take out sentries, taking out immortals. And Mana's forced to retreat here. Look at that. Winning that battle, but losing a lot of stuff in the process. Gonna lose this lair, which I don't know that Scarlett can afford to lose at this point in time. Spawning pool gone. Lair gone. 10 drones gone. Responding hydralisks, which are good, which are really good against zealots. Are they gonna try to win this thing? I don't know. They're pulling back for some reason. Maybe going to try to land here inside the natural base instead. It's a better location for that, but there are so many zerglings, so many hydras. Warp Prism just needs to run at this point in time. Pretty good micro though. Picking off another drone there with that Warp Prism Fancy Pants micro. Fourth base is done for Mana on the back of that attack. It's 57 to 76 harvesters for our Protoss player. So didn't stomp Scarlett there, but did a lot of damage. This main base is a ghost town for Scarlett right now. That +2 melee attack on the Evolution Chamber might not finish before this Evolution Chamber dies. Throwing down a Creep Tumor, though. I think the Creep should get up there to save it in time. And yes, indeed it should. Bunch of Hydras here at Mana's fourth base, and it's gone. Just like that. Hydra DPS +2 is absolutely nuts. It is absolutely insane. It is such good DPS. They're just glass cannons. They die very, very easily. Zealots trying to slow down this creep spread, taking down additional creep tumors, trying to expand to a fourth base along this left side now, but surprise, there's a whole ton of creep. Zealots get the Baneling Nest inside the main of Scarlett. Oh, the Zealots have been super annoying throughout this game. How did they even get there? The Warp Prism's far away. Were they just hiding in a corner? They were possibly just hiding in a corner is what it was. It looks like Scarlett's not going to bother replanting the hatchery inside the main base, as put creep tumors directly in the path of that happening. Mana does have the Archons with +2 attack, +3 attack coming up as well. Additional Templar, part of this army. Zealots, part of it as well. Going to be mostly Hydralisk for Scarlett right now. 32 Hydras, 18 Lings, and 2 Banelings is what we're dealing with. Coming up to try to see if there's a new fourth base. The answer is not yet. One is planned, but the army is here to defend it as well. Creep Tumor gets sniped down before it can come up inside that fourth base location. Lurkers are here now for Scarlett, and the immortal count, is it high enough to deal with 4 lurkers? I don't know. Going for it. Wow. Nope. Changed his mind. Mana did not want to go for that. Getting some storms on top of the lurkers as well, weakening them fairly greatly. Storm doing a lot more damage to lurkers than you would expect it to do. Trying to get another fourth base along this left side. Another fourth base. Fourth base replanted. This would be a fifth, but Zerglings and Hydras are here too. Long distance mining probes just getting absolutely picked apart in this location. Zealots checking for a base down south of the third of Scarlett. Nothing to see there. Archons have that +3 yet? I don't know that they do. I'm not positive that they do. Some Lings, some Hydras covering the retreat for the rest of the army here for Scarlett. Zealot taking down a potential fifth base along this top right side. More friends joining the party. +3 attack is now done. 22 damage per attack. Adds up pretty quickly with those dudes. Zealots, trying to do some damage here at the natural base, but getting mown apart, including the Warp Prism by those Hydralisks. So, I mean, running around killing creep tumors, trying to slow the growth of this creep. Lurker count is currently up to 9, though. That's a lot. That is a whole heck of a lot of lurkers here. Being patient, though. Being patient is Mana. Just finding individual groups of Hydralisks to take on out, killing changelings. as well. Are there enough immortals to get rid of these? Not enough. Wow. All right. All the lurkers are here defending this 4th base. Storms are up. Yeah, Mana not really willing to commit to that battle. A whole bunch of Zerglings trying to come down to the natural base. Stasis Ward catches a bunch of them. Lynx and Hydra is retreating out the other way. Creep Spread continuing to try to do stuff. Try to do stuff along this area at the same time. Whew. Robotics Bay on the way for Mr. Mana. And Lings getting massacred. Storms on top of the Hydralisks. Force Field's trying to keep them around. They're just too fast. They're running away. They took damage but didn't die for most of them. But Zealot's chasing, actually getting a few of those number to kick the bucket there. 4th base. 4th base has gone to a group of Hydras again. Man, these Hydralisks are just mean. Just mean is what they are. 60 to 56 Harvesters. Pylon dies as well. 4th base is something that Scarlett is not interested in allowing Mana to get, as it turns out. Creep Spread continuing to push across the middle of this map. We got Hydras taking down a Zealot, sitting on a potential 5th base location for Scarlett. Just little battles here and there. Revelation being thrown down by Oracles. Just trying to make sure that Mana knows where the Zerg Swarm is at all times. Archons +3 attack, doing 47 damage plus splash versus biological. Catching some of these drones here. Bad timing for the drones. Drones trying to come up to a non-existent hatchery and getting murdered. Creep Spread dying as well. Lurkers in a defensive position once again. So both players are doing their best to deny additional bases to their opponent. It's 3 bases to 4 bases. Nobody can get an additional one past that for any length of time, it seems. Disruptors are here. Big disruptor hits on the Lurkers and on the Hydras could be Mana's ticket to winning this battle. Storms on top of a big group of Hydralisks. Transfuses trying to keep them alive. There are some Queens at the front line here. And by Queens, I mean there are 3. There are 3 of them. Transfuse keeping her alive as she takes a shot, running back to the creep. Long distance mining is Mana from the natural base to potential 4th base along this left side. Mana needs to keep that. He needs to keep that going. It needs to get enough minerals to expand because Scarlett's sitting on 2,000 minerals and 1,000 gas and is essentially maxed out. Getting an infestation pit, getting additional lurkers, getting additional Hydralisks. The Hydras themselves can't win this battle. They need the support of the lurkers, which is why they keep running away to places where the lurkers are burrowed. Purification Nova coming in. You're doing some good damage there. Catching 3 lurkers, damaging others. That was a nice play. Nice play. Warp Prism sneaking up this left side with Zealots. Once again, just trying to kill stuff here at this 3rd base, I think is the general idea. Lurkers defending against these Archons, not doing extra damage versus them, but still doing a lot of damage. A lot of drones being murdered here at this 3rd base. Scarlett's down to 40 total workers at this point. Hydras and Lurkers trying to sneak down this middle side, and Purification Nova's coming in on top of these Lurkers, taking them down. Storms as well. Is there enough Storm, though, is going to be the question. Storms on the Hydras. Purification Nova catching big-time groups. Clumps of Hydralisks here. The blanket of Storms doing so much damage. Lurkers, is that pretty much all that's going to be left here? I don't know. There are enough Hydras here to push the army back. Disruptors coming in here at the same time. Nova's exploding. Purification Nova's not finishing because Disruptors are getting killed here as well. Suddenly, there's a Zerg Swarm all over the front door. Nice hit there with that Nova, though, catching a big group. Big old group of them. Mana doesn't have much, unfortunately, to defend against this is a small problem. Zealot's still going to town on that 3rd base, but there is still a mining base here for Scarlett, where Mana is pretty much mined out everywhere and can't do anything else. Another Nova coming in. Nope, doesn't end up happening at all. Robotics facility exploded in a gout of the blue flame. Checking to make sure, actually chasing down these disruptors now is the Zerg Swarm. Nova's not there, and no, that is it. That is it for those disruptors. It's 98 to 42 total supply. Good game, well played, says Mana. Mana is defeated, and Scarlett is victorious here on Echo, the Ladder Edition. Oh, that was a crazy ZVP. Mana had the right idea. I liked the disruptors. I liked the Archons. Just didn't quite have, I think, the immortal control, the immortal numbers to take down the sheer number of lurkers that Scarlett made. Scarlett has 9. It ended up losing 10. So that's 20 lurkers. 20 lurkers with +2 attack is just, is nothing to sneeze at, is what it is. So fantastic job there, indeed, out of Mana, but Scarlett gets the win for Team Canada. All right, so that's it for game number 4. Is this game number 4? I think it is. We'll come back with game number 5 in just a second. Welcome back to Game 5 of the 2017 Nation Wars LiquidMaNa compilation brought to you by Falcon Paladin. This is going to be a PvT on between LiquidMaNa and Special here on Habitation Station, the Ladder Edition. In the top left side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is LiquidMaNa. And in the top right side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is Special, also known as Major, hailing from Mexico. So Poland versus Mexico now, sticking in North America for this particular match, and should be a very good one to boot. Had a good game, or is that later? I think it was Ptitdrogo versus Major that I'm thinking about. There's a good game involving Major coming up fairly soon, which you should definitely watch when it shows up in your YouTube subscription feed list. Just dead impressive, down to the wire level stuff. All right, here we go. We do, in fact, have a gateway first out of mana into an assimilator refinery here from our refinery. Wow, barracks here from our friend Major. It is getting late. It is getting late for me, but we can soldier on. We can soldier on and make this thing happen. Anyway, Habitation Station has been known for some pretty long, crazy macro-style games in the past, whether TVTs or ZVPs. I don't know that we've seen a long TVP on this map, but it's a pretty map. It has a lot of green, a lot of blue. I like that. We have these grasses here. Do we have palm trees anywhere on this map? We have kind of ferns. Kind of have some ferns here, some nice pretty flowers as well. Kind of look like Minecraft torches, actually, is what those ones look like. But anyway, SCV here trying to run away as Mana's harassing the front door. It is a Reaper. Holy smokes! All right, so this Reaper's name is Razalgal. After years of wondering why Razalgal became a slave to Kerrigan, this subscriber figured it out. She was just bored. Kerrigan promised her all the excitement and fun she could imagine if she just betrayed everyone who loved and trusted her. It is still a better love story than Twilight. Oh man, that is an old joke now. Yep, alright, so this is Razalgal? Anyway, Dark Templar from the StarCraft lore, who hasn't had a lot to do, as it turns out. So ended up putting on a Reaper suit to go to try to murder Protoss, which, again, is a fairly big betrayal of everything that she is. But you know what? She was bored, so why not join Kerrigan and try to kill some probes while you are at it? All right, Razalgal, what do you got? What do you got for us today? The answer is scouting information. Sees the second Nexus on the way. Good. Adept is not quite here yet. Mothership Core is... doesn't really matter because the Adept is now here. KD8 charge does not affect Shades, as it turns out. That's good to know. Running so hard. Man. Poor Reapers in this matchup. They try to scout, they try to kill some things, but there's just so many things the Protoss can have early that immediately negates them. It's a rough existence, is what it is. Robo facility on the way from Das Mana. Starport coming up as well. Tech Lab on the way for the factory. And it looks like we're going to do some kind of a drop action here from Major, because that's pretty much how you open up against Protoss, is maybe get some Warp Prism drop, or some Widowmine drops. That starts with a W, right? Some Widowmine drops on top of that Nexus and get lucky with a couple hits. Is that what's going to happen here? Starport? Actually, Starport got the Tech Lab. That's a Raven. What? Raven opening from Major. Is he messing around? Is that what this is? Let's see what he does with this. I'm very excited to see what he does with this Raven. Very excited to see. Meanwhile, Mana is doing nothing out of the ordinary. I don't see any carrier rushes. I don't see any Tempest rushes or DT rushes. Just kind of, you know, there's a Warp Prism. There's some Adepts going to move out with a Warp Prism and see what SCVs and Marines can be murdered today. Now, let's see. Raven can detect. Raven can toss down auto turrets, which don't last very long, but are still pretty good. Hit pretty hard nonetheless. And Hunter Seeker Missile, as well as PDD. I'm trying to see. PDD might be useless against this particular group. Oh, Major sees the Warp Prism coming and takes it down. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. I don't even mean Protoss in that hurt. You Protoss fans must be just dying there. What a hold by Major. Knew something was coming. Knew some kind of drop was on its way, and just shut it absolutely down as hard as humanly possible and Terranly possible. All right, what's the follow-up? What's the follow-up here from Mana? Ended up losing what? 3 Adepts and a Warp Prism for nothing for special, or for Major here, Special, Major, whoever it is. So, I mean, it looks pretty normal for Major. You got the Marines, you got the tank, you got a Raven. That's just where things get a little bit weird for me. More tanks in production, getting stim. Really no sign of medevacs, which is a little bit weird. Definitely a little bit odd here. But that's what I like. That's what I'd like to see, is players incorporating weird units into their builds, which is kind of what One Trick Wednesday is all about. If you didn't catch last week's One Trick Wednesday, there's a playlist for it. Basically, challenge you guys to go mass Viking. And players did. They managed to pull it off at levels as high as Diamond, which is incredible. This week's, which is still coming up, and I think I've already... is it One Trick? No. This week's is going to be in a week as they take down an observer thanks to the detection from Mr. Raven there. Meanwhile, Adepts landing inside the natural base. This week's One Trick Wednesday, real quick though, is going to be burrowed banelings. You have to win with burrowed banes, and that is it. You can make queens. You can make static defense. If you go only queen and only static defense and win, that doesn't count. Burrowed banelings have to factor prominently into it. Send it to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of One Trick Wednesday, and you might get cast. You might make it onto the channel. All right, Warp Prism, again, trying to land at depths. It's just there are tanks. There are Marines throwing DPS down. Somehow that Warp Prism was on fire. I think maybe because it picked up an on-fire Adept. Is that how that works? Is that actually how that works? Some SCVs are getting killed here, but all but one of the Adepts are destroyed, and Viking as well, chasing Warp Prism away. Poor Adept. There's no ride home for you, because Viking is chasing away this Warp Prism. Warp Prism does not have the Warp Prism speed upgrade, so will die to the Viking. Unfortunately, pieces falling into the abyss below, into the endless dark abyss below. Actually, if this is a space station, right, as it is, at what point when stuff falls off it does the gravity, like, not have any effect anymore, and it just kind of floats there? That's what I want to see. I want stuff fall off the edge and go, boop, and then just kind of stay as you move away from it. I guess they would have some momentum, though, so maybe they would fly away for some distance. I don't know. Either way, specials here with Marines, Marauders, Vikings, Medevacs, and a Raven. Really trying to make Mana's day not go super duper well. There are Colossus. There are Colossus here for Mana. Got Adepts as well, and Stalkers target firing with the tanks. Extended Thermal Lance is not quite done yet. It's almost there. It is almost there, though. Major setting up a very nice contain in the situation. Probes pulled off the line to defend here as well. Nope, transferring. Actually transferring. Taking tank fire is not what you want to do if you're a probe, as it turns out. Extended Thermal Lance is done. Blinking forward are the Stalkers. Immortals trying to get damage in here at the same time. Colossus doing some good work. 4 kills on the one and a total of 7 on the other. Colossus are still alive. Major really took a nice shot to the face there. A couple probes died, but it is still 48 to 47 Harvesters. Mana has a third base. Third base is just now landing for Major as well. Marines, Marauders, they have +1 attack, but no +1 armor. Tanks have no upgrades to speak of either. We do have an Observer heading out here, and there are Widow Mines here. Don't sit. Are you gonna sit on top of the Widow Mines? Sitting on top of the Widow Mines, taking the shots, trying to get that tank down. There it is, one tank down, but another one has showed up. Immortal trying to take down that tank while getting shot at as well, and the tank does explode. Immortal goes as well, though. And Major is forced to retreat, but big old time drop here. Sneaky drop here inside the main base. Adepts trying to save it. No, robotics facility explodes, and Major feels like that was a good enough little attack. Managing to retreat there as well. So Major pulls back after doing some amount of damage. Crud. I did. I'll be right back. Okay, pretty sure this is where we were. We have a Major moving away. We have the Widow Mines taken care of here on this ramp as well, and both players just kind of resetting at this point. 51 to 52 Harvesters. Major just has a bigger army is the problem right now. He's got about, is that 30, 40,000 in army, whereas it's 26 for the Protoss. Just a little bit down. A little bit down there. Observer gets destroyed at the same time. Man, I hate it when I rewind all the way back to the very beginning of the cast, but we'll pretend like it didn't actually happen here. Production tab looks amazing for Major. He's got Liberators, he's got Vikings, he's throwing down SCVs, he's got concussive shell and infantry armor, all sorts of wonderful things. Wonderful stuff indeed. Alright, Adepts trying to scout what is up. Their vision was reduced, if you remember. Their vision used to be absolutely huge. They could see everything around them when they were transferring, but it got dropped to a range of 1. So to see something, you have to be pretty much on top of it to scout it. Colossus are here. I don't know if you want to keep doing Colossus just because there are a ton of Vikings in the sky right now. There are 8. There are specifically 8 of them. It's just 141 to 104 total supply. Here comes Major. He's got his Marauders in the front with their +1 attack. He's got all of his Vikings here as well. Got the medevacs in the sky, trying to hold off the assaulting army. Not really going very well. Force fields did some damage there, but the Vikings took down the Colossus like they weren't even involved in this battle. Marauders and Marines waltzing right up into this natural base, taking down the fort, taking down the natural Nexus as well, and that is it. A good game out of Mana with a well done. Mana's tapped out and special, also known as Major, is victorious. So excellent job there by Major. He's looking good. He's looking good is all I can say about this, just especially against the Protoss. So Mana did what he could. Going Colossus, just the response was a little bit too strong. A little bit too strong there from Major with the Vikings. Again, the Viking count ended up being... Nope, that's... Viking count was 8. Ended up losing 1 in the battle. Did he not? Did he have... I thought he had 9. Did he just have 8? Just had 8. Just had 8. The Viking opening was interesting. Didn't really change much of anything, but just overwhelming onslaught there in that final attack was enough to make it happen, and Mana was forced to tap out. So that's going to be it. That's going to be it for the 2017 Mana compilation from Nation Wars. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.